Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a brush review. So this is a high-end brush review. I did a brush haul back in August 2018, so it's been a while, and I had a lot of brushes that I had I went through this little phase where I like brought a whole bunch of Luxe brushes and I did a haul, and I don't know what's in the water at the moment, but I've had a few people be like either commenting on like brush review videos or asking specifically about brushes that were in this haul. And it only took one person to ask me if I would do a review on all of the brushes that were in the haul, and I thought, fuck it, why not? It's easy to sit down and collect those brushes from that haul and talk about my feelings about them almost a year later. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, I started off that video by saying that I had made an order on Beautylish, and there was one particular Sonia G brush that I wanted. It's called the Worker 2. I still do not own that brush. I still would like to own that brush. The specific reason that I want the Worker 2 is because it's kind of like an all-in-one brush. So like a packing and a blending brush. It's a small guy, so it's for like eye work, and it can be used with creams or liquids. Now, I would like to try other Sonia G brushes, but in terms of how many brushes I have, it would be very difficult for me to justify buying one because I have cuts and shapes of all different sizes, and many of them are very similar to the Sonia G. So that's why I don't own any Sonia G brushes. I feel like every time I do a video about Luxe brushes, Sonia G comes up and people are like, tell us about your Sonia G brushes. And I'm like, I don't own any. I can't tell you anything about them. I've never tried them. But they are, well, that particular brush is one that is kind of on my wish list. And the other day I was out with mum and we were sitting on the train, and I was looking at the Beautylish website, and I was looking at a Chikuhodo range that they had. It's got the little like, wait, let me just find what it's called. This is the easiest way for me to do it. Oh, Beautylish website, Sonia G Pro Face Set back in stock. Fuck, don't do this to me. I can't do this, guys. I can't do it. I spent too much money on fucking Game of Thrones scotch that I won't drink. So it's the Chikuhodo, the Fuji Maki collection by Chikuhodo and Beautylish. So they are the beautiful blue handled brushes. It's a 4-piece brush set. It's got like Mount Fuji on it and other stuff, and I really wanted it, and I was like, I want to buy this fucking thing, but it's $200 US, and look, I'm gonna go through some brushes here. There's a lot of brushes I can show you. You know, you're gonna see there's a lot, but then I also have this thing full of brushes and another cloche full of brushes, and I've got all of my Ray Morris brushes over there. I've got literally handfuls of brushes that are currently in use. It's extremely difficult for me to justify buying brushes at this time because I'm trying to save money, and not like, as much as I want to buy that particular brush set, like it would be stupid for me to do it at this point because I can't afford it, and I think I have enough brushes. But one day I will get me a Sonia G brush, and I will talk about it in a video. I know some of you absolutely adore my brush videos. I adore my brush videos. I love talking about makeup brushes. It's my favorite. Okay, I've been talking for too long. Let's get into it. So the first brushes that I talked about in that review, other than the Sonia G that I didn't purchase, were Chikuhodo brushes. So I purchased 4. 3 of them were these guys. So we have the GSN 05, which is a foundation brush. This is very soft. I would say it is fairly similar in quality to Hakuhodo, maybe not quite as soft, this particular one, but it's a beautiful foundation brush. I did have shedding with that, unfortunately. This looks pretty small in the grand scheme of things with the face, but for me personally, small head person, I find it's actually quite good for doing like a full face of foundation and conceal work, so I like that one. Then I had the GSN 10, which is this blending brush, and I have the GSN 09, which is the eyeshadow paddle brush. These are both very soft and beautiful. I think the 09 is softer than the 10, but you've got a blending and a packing eyeshadow brush. If you are curious about the quality of these, it's up there, and I would recommend the brand. Don't be afraid if you haven't gone there before. The other one that I picked up was the T2 by Tissue Takamori, I think it is. So this is another Chikuhodo brush, and someone did in my review, or in my haul video, I said I wasn't sure who that person was, but someone pointed out that it was someone who has something to do with making and designing Chikuhodo brushes, and he wanted to create brushes that he was proud to put his name on, like actually put his name on it, and this is one of them. So this is it's dirty, I'm very sorry. It's a fluffy blending angle brush. I use this for setting my face. It was actually in my handbag as a face setting brush. I use it for contouring, bronzing, blush, and even highlighting. It is a multi-purpose face brush. You will hear that from me constantly with all of my like larger face brushes. The thing that I get from specifically Japanese brush brands is that often their brushes are made in a size, a shape, and a cut that allow you to use it pretty much all over the face for anything that you want to. Obviously you're not going to use this to blend your eyeshadow in, but I think you get what I'm saying here. You can multi-purpose these brushes when it comes to doing face work, and that one is beautiful. The quality is outstanding. It is silky, silky soft. Smith Cosmetics was the next brand that I delved into. These are my only Smith Cosmetic brushes. I have not purchased any since, but to be fair, I don't think I've purchased any other brushes since, so you know that doesn't speak to the quality of these. So what I've got here is the 115. Now I purchased this, I kind of did what I did with Chikuhodo, I did with Smith Cosmetics. I purchased something that I could use sort of to get all of the jobs done. So a foundation, an eyeshadow packing product, brush laying down, and a blender. Now these two, I've got the 253, which is the arrowhead shading or arrowhead lay down brush, and I have the 247, which is a blending brush. These are both beautiful. They work really well. They are not as soft as Chikuhodo, and they're not even nearly as soft as Hakuhodo, but they get the job done. They're not super expensive. They're good quality, and I do love these wooden handles. They look great. Can we focus on the brushes and not my face? My least favorite is actually the 115. So this is a like a foundation application brush. Again, it's quite similar in the size of the Chikuhodo GSN 05, slightly different shape though. I just found that this sheds a lot. It's also not as soft as this guy. This guy is softer, so if I'm going to choose one over the other, I'm going for this one, but I tend to actually reach for my Hakuhodo over this. But to be fair, I feel like I should show you why. So this is one of my Hakuhodo foundation brushes. You can see it's dirty, I'm very sorry. I do love this one. This is a round angled buffing brush. It is a mixture of synthetics and natural fibers. It's the G5556 for anyone who's wondering. And the brushes are completely different. Like they're only in the same realm by the fact that they're both used to apply foundations basically, but they are different brushes. I personally like to reach for this one first. This is the one that I'm always like, oh, want a foundation brush. Is this clean or is it in the wash me, I'm dirty pile? And if this one is dirty, then I will start reaching for something like this guy. Definitely not a bad brush by any means, but personally, this one, shit's all over this one. I just feel like this is a bit stiff and I don't like it as much. That's all I can say. Okay, the Hakuhodo brushes. Now, I did actually purchase, you're gonna be so mad at me, don't be mad, please, I'm sorry. I purchased a brush shampoo, like a solid brush shampoo bar in that haul. And the reason I purchased that was because I wanted to try it and I was making an order. So I was like, screw it, throw one in, I wanna try it. I'm very, very sorry. It's been almost a year and I haven't tried it. So I can't tell you how good it is or how bad it is or how mediocre it is. I can tell you nothing. All I can say is I put it away and I was like, one day I'll get to it, but I have a lot of solid brush shampoos on the go. So I think I might try and make a note to play with that this month and maybe I can get back to you in one of my recaps. I also received a brush cleaning cloth in that order. It was a gift with purchase and I forgot that I even had that and I have also not used it. I went digging through my cupboard to find it. I did find it. I am going to have a play with that as well. Essentially what it was, it feels like a microfiber cloth, but I don't actually think it's microfiber, and you use it like you would a brush switch or a shadow switch where you like brush a dirty brush onto it while the cloth is dry and you're able to then go in with a different color. So I apologize greatly, but I didn't really want to spend the month playing with those to review them because this is more about brushes. This is about the brushes, the quality of brushes, what is good. If you're jonesing for a good brush buying spree, where should you put your money? That's what this is about. So on to the brushes that were actually in the haul. The first four that I spoke about were the larger ones and the others were all eye brushes. This one here is the Kokutan Blusher Brush Small. So this comes in a few different sizes. I went with the smaller one and I use this predominantly as a blush brush because it's absolutely perfect for that. And oh my God, it feels so fucking soft. I can't even tell you how soft these brushes are. They are luxurious. They are delicious. Like I kind of want to put this in my mouth and just like really gently, like don't ever do that to your brushes. You will ruin them. But I love this. I love this brush so much. I want more Kokutan brushes. These are probably the softest from all of the Hakuhodo brushes that I've ever played with. So I predominantly use this for blush. I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. I'm very sorry. I know it's expensive and I know that me raving about it is probably going to make you want to spend your money on it. But good God, I love this. And this brush, this is one of the brushes that I use. It gets dirty and then I'm like, okay, I've been using that for a really long time. I need to wash it. So I wash it and I don't even like put it in the pile to wash with the bunch of my other brushes. I'll wash this one separately. I'll put it in a brush guard. I'll let it dry. And then when it's good to go, I'm back to using it. That's how much I love it. And it looks good as new. This brush looks like it has just come off the Hakuhodo floor, except for like, okay, little bit of little marks, but the bristles, I'm talking about the quality of the brush. The quality is outstanding. It's amazing. It's held up beautifully. If you are someone who only likes to multi-purpose your brushes when you are buying something as expensive as this, I understand. It makes it much easier pill to swallow. You could use this as a highlighting brush because it does have that, you know, flat angle. You could use it as a contouring brush if you wanted to. So there you go. Oh, also setting under the eye. I have done that with this brush and it is so soft. Okay, I need to not rave on about these as much because this video will go forever, and I suspect some of you will really hate me because I'm going to make you part with money that you probably can't afford to spend, just like I did. This one here is the, I think it's pronounced Yachio. I don't know. You guys are welcome to correct me if I've got that wrong. My Japanese is non-existent. So this one is the M tapered brush. So this is in the medium size. I believe there is a small and also a large, and I bought this one expecting it to be super soft, but these bristles are actually quite densely packed down here, which makes them feel a lot firmer. This is a fabulous little highlighting brush, and it's also great for contour. Now the bristle, or the handle, sorry, the handle is wrapped in cane, and all of the weight is in here. So no weight here, no weight down here, it's all in here. So you've got this like perfect balance just in the tip of your fingers. There's nothing pulling down the brush here, and there's no weight here. So gorgeous little brush. I love that one. Totally not what I expected to be when I received this. I was shocked and surprised, but it's always dirty because I'm using it for highlight. Good little brush. This one is the J4003, and I've got to say this is one of my least used Hakuhodo brushes. It is not a bad brush by any means. I purchased this thinking it would be good for blush and highlight, even like some, you know, contouring, because it's small. You can get into that nice little, that part between your cheekbone and your jawbone, and it works. It does work, but I find that I'm more often reaching for things like this, or like this dude, or a multitude of other ones that I've got. I find that I tend to forget that I have this one. So probably not my most loved, well, definitely not my most loved, and definitely not my most used either. But I think if you love angled brushes and you want one that is on a bit of a smaller scale, this is not a bad one to consider. Then I have this guy. This is the G5544. So this is a large angle brush. This is big, and I bought this for like thinking it'd be good for bronzing, because I had this one and I use it for bronzing, and I love this one for bronzing. This is the B505, so you can see the difference that we've got going on there. And I can tell you this, I used it for bronzing like, I don't know, maybe 24 times since I've purchased it, but I always reach for this one if it's clean. I always want this one for bronzing. It's just, I don't know, it's my preferred one out of the two when it comes to choosing a brush for bronzing. This, I actually found I used it so much more for setting my face with powder. It's large enough to like do the face quite quickly, but it's not so big that it covers like half my cheek at once. And yes, I do have some brushes like that. So this brush doesn't see as much use as I thought it would, and it doesn't actually fit with the purpose that I thought it would for me, but it still gets used and I still love it. She's a soft baby. Next, I have eye brushes, and yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna try and group them and let you know where my faves are. So this one is kind of a brush on its own, all right? This guy is like nothing that I own out of any of my other Hakuhodo brushes. This is the J4006. So this is, let me see if I can get up close and show you. There we go. So this is a little fan brush, and she's stiff, okay? She's, the bristles are really quite firm. Now, I purchased this to use it as a mascara applying brush. Now, mascaras come with wands. You don't need a brush to do that. But I thought, I've tried these in the past. I used to use them quite often when I was freelancing. They're great for, you know, getting right at the base of lashes without accidentally potentially stabbing someone with a makeup, with a mascara wand. And also they're really good for painting the tops of lashes. And sometimes, like, you know, I'll go in with a mascara wand to get the tops of my lashes occasionally, but if you're not careful, you can get mascara all over your eyeshadow. It's annoying. You don't want to do that to a client because it slows down the whole production of getting people through your seat and getting the makeup done. You've got to be like, okay, keep your eyes down, try not to blink, we've got to let the mascara dry, and I've got to try and get it off your face without ruining the work I've already done. So little brushes like this I have used in my kit before. They're also good if you are doing like photo shoots and you're doing a little bit of editorial stuff where maybe you're gonna have the tips of the lashes a different color to the base, or you're gonna use a colored like gel liner to paint the lashes a different color. Whatever you're doing, like, you can do a lot with these, okay? Especially if you are freelancing. Now, the ones that I had used in the past were all ones from, and I don't think I have any, oh, I've got a large one here. All the ones that I used in the past were just from art shops. So you would buy these synthetic fan brushes. Now, they work, they're good, it's all good, they're cheap. Doesn't matter if they like get stained over time, they can easily be replaced. But the difference between something like this that you buy at the art store for a few bucks and this that you buy at Hakuhodo, and I believe this was under $20. It might have even been under 15 US dollars. I can't quite remember. These are firm and you have 2 layers of bristles. So you have shorter bristles and you have longer bristles, which means it actually pushes through the lashes and it separates them. It doesn't just paint them, it helps to separate the lashes at the same time. So it works quite well, just like a mascara wand would, but you have the freedom to do all sorts of things with it. And hygienic for doing like client work. You're never going to use a mascara wand on one client and then use it on another. You could give them pink eye, you'd be up shit creek. I love that little brush. Is it necessary for your average Joe doing their makeup? No, you don't need this brush. Unless you do want to be able to get, you know, right up at the very, very base of the lashes with mascara, okay, you might want to do that. Trust me, no one's really going to notice it. If if you're into like doing fancy stuff on your Instagram account, like, you know, I don't know, fancy stuff, the fancy stuff that the Instagram peoples do with their makeup, sure, you might want something like that. It might make certain jobs easier, but you don't need it. I think that is a pro brush, and if you're a pro, I recommend, highly recommend. Okay, lining brushes. So I had quite a few lining brushes in that review, in that haul, sorry. I picked up the 3/0 PS, which is this tiny thing, because I wanted to compare it to my 3/0 PH. So you've got PS, which is soft, PH, which is hard. And then I also picked up the 007H, which is this little guy, and the 190H, which is this bigger guy. So let's talk about these 2 little buggers first. They're not buggers, they're amazing. Highly 10 out of 10 recommend these guys. So these are, I believe, the smallest eyelining brushes that Hakuhodo make, and the difference between these is the stiffness. Sorry, I don't know how to get this to focus. Yeah, I'm not even going to be able to really demonstrate the firmness of the bristles. So the hard one is this one, the soft one is on that side, and actually you might get an idea there. So how do I show you this? All right, what I'm trying to demonstrate to you here is how the soft bristles bend closer to, so this is the soft one, the soft bristles will bend closer to the base of the ferrule than the hard ones do. So the soft bristles are softer, the hard bristles are harder, as you might expect. But the reason this is important is a hard bristle brush is going to give you so much more control over the actual application with the brush. The soft bristles, These kind of have a mind of their own, and they will move to places where you weren't actually intending for them to go. So if you are looking for a tiny little eyelining defining brush, go the 3-0PH. You want the H. If you are a little bit of a sadist, go the PS, and then good luck to you, because even I struggle with the PS sometimes. All jokes aside, with the PS brush, it is actually a fantastic little brush. I just find with myself, like, I sometimes have like shaky hands, so I need my brush to, I need it to have its own level of control when I'm a little bit out of control, if you know what I'm saying. So the PH just fits better with how I need a brush to work. But the PS, if you have like perfect control and you don't shake or anything like that, the PS is probably going to be just fine for you. You'll be like, Hayley, what the fuck are you talking about? That brush is absolutely mint. And it is. It's a perfect brush. I just personally prefer the PH based on shaky hand Hayley. Then we have the other two eyelining brushes that I purchased. So this smaller one is the J007H, and the bigger one is the 190H. Okay, so sorry, I'm trying to read things and look at things, and I don't remember all of the names of my brushes. I wish I was that good of a mother. I'm not. So I bought these because I was curious to see what their larger blending brush, larger eyelining brushes are like. The J007H, which is the smaller one, this guy's fantastic. Once he's built up with product, he gets nice and thin, you've got good precision, and you can see the bristles don't bend too much when they have pressure put on them. So I definitely recommend that one if you are looking for a thicker eyelining brush. Then I have the 190H. Now this guy is very long, and he's surprising. Like, you would think that he would not have a whole lot of control, but he actually does. Once this is built up with product, I know it looks fat, but once he's built up with product, he comes to a nice tapered tip, and you know, he is good for applying eyeliner. But personally, again, this is kind of on the same level with the PS brush that I was talking about. I feel like I don't have as much control with this. I have only tried this brush with cream and gel liners. I actually think that this guy would be perfect with a liquid, like something you dip into a pot, like an ink pot or something like that. But I don't really have anything like that to test him with, so he's sort of sat to the wayside, but I'll never get rid of him. All right, next up we've got eyeshadow brushes that are like packing brushes, detailing brushes, and blending brushes. Let's do the small ones. These are the detailing brushes. What have I got here? So I've got the S149 and I have the J144H. Now these guys are pretty similar in their cut. I believe these are different hair types, and when you're looking at something from the S range, this is like their signature range. Comes in two styles. You have the orange handles and you have the black handles. So the orange handles are their like top of the line signature range. They are very expensive, but they are beautiful. Then you have their black range, which is the same as the signature range, but they're a little bit more affordable. They don't have the orange handle, so you pay a little bit extra for that if you want it. Now in terms of their quality, they're both very good. If you would like a little brush like this and you want something a bit more bougie, you want that beautiful gold ferrule, then obviously go with the S149. But if you are looking for something of similar quality that is just as effective, but you don't want to spend the extra money, then I would recommend the J144H. They are both very, very effective in what they do. Great for detailing. They pick up product beautifully. They lay it down beautifully. Gorgeous little brushes. Then we have some sort of medium-sized eyeshadow packing brushes. We have the 246HS, the 242HS, and I believe this one is just straight up the 246. Yes, it is. So what do we got here? We've got little like eyeshadow packing brushes. You can see they're quite thin, with like thin on one side, wider on the other. These are all amazing. They're all freaking amazing. I do think the 246, which is this one here, and the 246HS, the HS is softer. The bristles are of a higher quality. This one is still very soft, don't get me wrong, but it's not as soft. So you can save a little bit of money with, you know, going down this end, or you can go the J246HS, which is a softer brush in terms of the smoothness of the bristles, but the cuts are pretty similar. Then the 242HS is pretty much the same thing, it's just larger. So it just depends, you know, how big you want the brush to be. For reference, you can see this one over my eyelid. I do have fairly small eyes. I find myself reaching, I don't even know how many of these I've got, like quite a few. I've got a backup of this dude, the 242HS. I've got a backup of the 246HS. I think I even have maybe 2 or 3 more of these. I use them constantly. They're my favorite eye brushes because they just fit my eyes so well. So yeah, highly recommend them, especially if you've got small eyes. The next eyeshadow packing brushes that I have are these guys. They are both from the S100 Black series, so the signature series. So I've got the 5523A, which is the white one, and the 5523B, which is this grey one. The difference between these are the types of hair, I believe, but the cuts are the same, and they both feel beautiful. You're beautiful. Did anyone ever tell you? I think visually the 5523B is my favorite. This sort of greyish, like, it's not even just grey. There's like beige tones in there. It looks like, I don't know, it's fucking beautiful. I love it. It's gorgeous. But we're not talking about visuals, Hayley. Who cares about that? They both work really well as eyeshadow brushes, and for reference, with the size of my eye, they're not too big that they sort of take over and I can't get precision while applying eyeshadow. You can get brushes like these from other ranges in the Hakuhodo collection that aren't the signature range. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, I can't find any, and they're either in the dirty brush pile, or what I more suspect I've done is just purchase backups of the S100 series because I love them. But anyway, they're both beautiful brushes. I'm sure if you looked, like dug through the Hakuhodo range, they would have some brushes with a very, very similar cut that are in the more, or the cheaper, I was going to say more affordable, but they're like, Hakuhodo, it's expensive. And if you don't already know that, I'm sorry to shock and appall you, but they are expensive for a reason. They are some of the highest quality brushes I've ever come across. So anyway, gorgeous brushes, the S100 series, shadow packing brushes, definitely recommend. And then I've got some little blending brushes. So again, the ones with those gold ferrules are from the S100 range. I've got the S142 and I have the S146. You can see there the size difference. So you've got a medium and a small one. I love these both. We've got one here which is the, I think this one, which is not named, this little guy, I think it's the G5534. So he's a small blender. To compare him to the S146, you can see the size there, he's even smaller. And over here I have the J5529, which is similar in height, but the cuts are different. He is thicker than the G5534 and he's not as tapered. They're all great little brushes. I love my itty bitty blending brushes from Hakuhodo. If you have small eyes and you like to do detailed stuff with mattes out here in the crease and you don't want to like bring your fucking eyeshadow up to your eyebrow, which I don't particularly like to do, something like this is fucking fabulous. I love them, highly recommend them all. Again, you do not need to buy brushes from the S100 range to, you know, get a good quality brush. You can look for alternative cuts that are similar in their more affordable ranges. Unless you want the Luxe brush, go for it. Some people don't mind spending the extra for that little bit of bouginess. I am occasionally one of those people, which you can probably tell because I have those brushes coming out the wazoo. Last one. This is a great general purpose blending brush. This is the B142. And I would actually say if you are going to buy like one brush from Hakuhodo, I would actually recommend this one to start with. This is a like standard sized blending brush. It is not too expensive. It's good for doing crease work, outer corner work. If you have small eyes, you can totally use this to set your primer before you start. Great little brush. I love it. I use it all the time. It's always dirty. You can see it's dirty now. Why are we're not surprised. All right guys, so that's it for my brush haul in retrospect review. Is that what this is? I think so. If you have used any of the brushes here and you have feelings about them, leave your comments down below. My brush videos, they still get views. I still get comments on some of my oldest brush videos today, like people asking questions and, you know, they want to know more about where should they put their money, like which brushes should I choose if I can't afford to buy all of the ones that I'm interested in. And I think that's the hardest part about buying high-end brushes. It can be really difficult to choose where to put your money when you've never purchased before, because you're going in blind. You don't know the quality, you don't know the size or the shape or how it's going to like hug your skin. Is it going to be right for you? It can be really difficult and scary to make the purchase. So if you guys have any extra information, like let's say you have this particular brush and you actually love it and adore it and you use it constantly, let people know, because just because it's not my absolute favorite and it doesn't get as much use as it potentially could from me, doesn't make it a bad brush. And someone might be watching this going, well, actually, I'm kind of really looking for a brush of approximately that size and that cut, but she's not really, you know, she's not singing its praises like the rest of them. It doesn't mean it's bad, it just means it's not like my super duper fave like others are. So if it's your super duper fave, definitely like leave some information down below, so if people are going through the comments, they can gather some added information from you guys. It's a collaborative effort. Let's help the Luxe brush junkies buy their Luxe brushes. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.